I sound?
We're off to a great start. This is my best bud.
My name is Ben Kaplan. I'm a junior in the UT saxophone studio, and I'm learning trombone with Ethan.
We both play saxophone. I'd say we're pretty decent saxophonists, but...
So.
Yeah, so last semester we took a woodwind methods class. It's sort of arranged in a different way here at UT, where one semester in the fall of your junior year, you'll take a woodwind course where you'll go through two of the other primary woodwinds that you don't already play. So we both did flute at first, and then you did clarinet.
Yeah, so.
How was that for you?
That was actually pretty easy.
Yeah.
Coming from saxophone, I mean, there's a lot of key differences with the clarinet, but generally, most of my skills transfer over from saxophone. Just some minor alterations to it.
Yeah, and then I played oboe, which I feel like embouchure-wise was pretty easy to get a grasp of. Yeah. The muscles were pretty difficult.
And we actually played a duet. We played some Vivaldi. Cue the clip real quick. But
it was so bad.
It was the Bresnik version of Vivaldi.
I was in 4/4/4.
Yeah, I was in 4/32 and you were in 4/48. But yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed playing clarinet. Flute was tough. I know you also had some trouble with the oboe.
I like flute a lot. I think if I were to do focus on a secondary more, I would do flute for sure.
I think that's fair, because I also think that
clarinet's so transferable.
Yeah, that's the most likely thing that you would have to teach or play in a professional environment. If it's not saxophone, it's probably going to be flute.
Yeah, tell them about your prior brass experience.
Oh yeah, I'm a saxophone player beginning in 6th grade, and once I hit high school, I started to get really into drum corps. And I decided that I wanted to learn a brass instrument, so hopefully one day I could march in a drum corps. I ended up choosing trumpet, so I played trumpet from the sophomore year of high school, kind of until I graduated, and ended up getting a contract with the Crossman in 2022. And I had taken some private lessons, so I had a pretty solid foundation on trumpet.
And you played in the band at your high school, right?
I did, yeah. So my first 2 years, my sophomore and junior year of high school, I was in our 4th band, our bottom band, and then my senior year of high school, I was in our second band.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I got
cool.
a real ensemble experience towards the end, learning how to play trumpet in a wind ensemble, which was very valuable experience.
And then now, spring semester of junior year, we're starting brass instruments. I figured that I would be put on trumpet. As you know, I posted a trumpet video. And then we got into class the first day and they handed us both trombone cases and I was like, awesome. I did all of that for nothing, but hopefully I'll be put on trumpet in the second half of the semester.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling they're going to put me on tuba.
That'd be pretty fun.
I don't know why,
yeah.
I just feel like they're going to put me on tuba.
The way that they structure these courses, it's based off of Dr. Duke, who's a professor here, and his philosophy of teaching and learning is that beginner ensembles only include 6 instruments, which is flute, clarinet, saxophone, alto saxophone specifically, trumpet, trombone, and euphonium for a 6th grade ensemble. Yeah. And so for the first half of each of these semesters, those are our only 3 options. And then halfway through the semester, they'll give a few people an opportunity, like yourself when you played oboe.
Yeah. But you'll be on French horn.
Yeah, so French horn, if you remember, that's not one of the options I listed at the very beginning. But since I have prior trumpet experience, I'm going to be put on the French horn, which will be an interesting experience for sure.
Yeah, and we have people like our roommate Owen who marched drum corps and plays with Boston Crusaders and plays mellophone, and he's playing trumpet right now, and he's
pretty unfair.
Yeah, he's crazy good at the trumpet, which a lot of us are in there struggling.
Oh yeah.
It's very different because we're playing brass instruments with how we have to play it pretty much every day. With the woodwind instruments, you could get away with not practicing since we only have class on Tuesday, Thursday. But with this, it's super obvious if you're not playing every day.
Yeah. So I definitely had some people asking me for advice when we started. Like Ethan, before he made that trumpet video, he texted me and said like, how do I get started with this or something along those lines. And I just said like the biggest thing that is like different than woodwinds, like you just have to play every single day. It's a lot more about like your muscles and the way they develop. If you're doing all of the things right on a woodwind and everything's closing and you have the right embouchure, you're probably going to make a good sound.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the case with brass instruments to begin with. You can be doing all the right things, but your face hasn't quite matured yet in the first couple of weeks, and you're just going to sound bad for a while. A lot of us in that class are going through these baby steps of the beginning stages of brass instrument playing where you just kind of sound like a dying goat all the time. But slowly it gets much better.
Yeah, so. It's cool to see the amount of progress because we are collegiate level musicians. The amount of progress you can get in like 3 or 4 weeks. We're in like week 5 now, but I already feel way better about this instrument.
I do too.
We'll talk in a minute after we play some about we're having to teach lessons on it.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about that. For the first like 4 classes, I'd say, we just buzzed.
I thought their approach to teaching us how to buzz was pretty interesting. They kind of told us that we're approaching it from our lips apart. And like the way they got us to make our very first buzz is our lips are slowly closing as we're blowing air through the mouthpiece, and the moment that we make any resemblance of a buzz, we stop. And they're kind of teaching us to find that right spot of like how open versus how pinched should we be in our lips to create like an optimal buzz.
Which is a different approach and you could go either way. I actually asked them about this because Dr. Duke was talking about starting clothes and then relaxing. They were like, it's kind of up to you. It's just 2 different thoughts of doing it. I think that the starting open allows you to it allows you to start loose, which is more of what you want for the brass embouchure.
Yeah, well, I mean, we spent so long just on the mouthpiece, and one thing that I thought was so interesting is like, if they were giving a comment to someone, there's a 95% chance the comment's going to be move the mouthpiece down on your face. I didn't realize how
important that was.
Yeah, how important that was and how common of an issue it is.
Was that something you thought about when you were playing trumpet?
Definitely not.
You just put it on your face?
Yeah, I mean, I put it on my face where I thought was right. But like, I never, and I was always shooting for equal, but I never really had a problem with, or was told that I had a problem with the position.
I feel like over the course of this, it's definitely more 2/3, 1/3.
Yeah, you're way lower than
maybe a little less than that, but.
I mean, when I'm looking at it, like, that looks very equal. It looks different as you're setting it up, but then as you start to play, like, I mean, it looks equal once you start playing and, like, actually form your playing embouchure.
Interesting. Again, they had us on the mouthpiece a lot. They had us starting on F. We would go down, do sirens after, like, 3 class periods. We started to do that. They usually break up the class where we're playing for the first 30 minutes. We do, like, some sort of, like, written activity or oral activity, and then we play at the back half just so it breaks up our face, because for the first like few weeks I couldn't play for very long at all.
Got the tingly lips.
I still can't
play for very long.
No, I still can't be as flexible as I would like. Maybe I can. I have to move more than I want. I feel like I was moving a lot at the beginning, and then they got on to me about the duck face. And then I reined in too much, and now when I was doing slurs, they're like, no, go ahead on the lower B flat, go ahead.
I mean, like, also, I know you have very minimal trumpet experience, but like moving from trumpet to this, like, everything is just bigger. Like, you need more air to play this instrument. You need bigger movements, just because, like, think about how much more lip you actually have in the cup. I mean, this is a large cup versus on the trumpet, like, you really only have this, like, inner area versus, like, pretty much your whole lips. So it requires a lot more movement than you think.
How do I sound?
You sound pretty good. When we started, I think you and I both had the problem of, they call it like sock in your trombone sound, is like a really muted sound, and I think you and I have really worked towards
not having that.
yeah, like a more open sound, like just a little bit of buzz, some zing on it.
Dude. Shout out.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that the mustache gets in the way at all? I've always thought about this because
a
like
little
even
bit,
Jacob, the mustache, like
Yeah.
with trumpet, like it's all up in there, you know?
Yeah. Not really.
No?
I mean, you just kind of put it on top of it. And it's
I have
fine.
no idea. I would.
Yeah. I mean, something I've really
That's
been.
way better than it was.
It
the
is.
other
Yeah,
day.
you sound good. Something that I've really been struggling with is like I can get a really like good sound, like the sound I want on like if we're holding concert Fs or even like concert Gs or like low concert B flats.
Yeah.
But then like the moment we actually start playing music and I have to use my slide, like that sound just completely disappears.
Yeah, I'm moving so much.
Yeah.
One of the bigger things that I struggled with was holding it, and it's getting better. I'm not in as much pain as I was, but I think I'm gonna get up close. One of the biggest things they talk about is not having a lot of tension. I've been sitting it on my neck, or not sitting it on my neck, but there's contact with my neck. I was having so much pain in my middle finger here. I think I was just applying too much pressure. It's gotten better.
Yeah.
I think that it was honestly just me like tensing up. I experimented with bringing this in and out.
Yeah.
Some. Bringing it out helps, doesn't actually help, I don't think.
Yeah, I have
Bringing
mine
it
pretty
in just
close
a
to a
touch.
right angle. Mine's like slightly in.
That was really bad.
I mean, there's so much space between those two
There is.
partials. Like a lot of the stuff we've been learning is like the overtone series. As you go up, these partials get closer and closer together, and that's always been like my background on trumpet. It's like, oh, the higher you go, like the harder it is to find those partials. But now playing the trombone, I'm like, those partials down here feel so far apart.
Yeah.
Like it's like hard in a different way to like move enough to make, because as you were playing that, like there's so much like in between
There's so much
sound
space.
between that
Yeah.
those partials that to like not overshoot it but still move enough is like really tough. Like there's so much
Exactly.
there before you split the partials.
That was what I was gonna say. The first few days playing this was crazy because of how much you can manipulate one note. I never, like, yes, everything is here and this is just a megaphone, but like with saxophone, I feel like you can manipulate a note a lot, but I thought it would be less on this. It's way more.
It is a lot.
Like what you just said. Without going down the partial yet?
Yeah.
What's been the hardest part?
Ooh, the hardest part. It's got to be slide position.
sure.
I mean, trombone is such a unique instrument. There's no instrument quite like it unless you're playing slide whistle. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a weird concept of like, okay, we're moving, everything moves lower, which yes, the instrument's getting longer, the pitch is going to be lower, but there's no lines, there's no frets, there's no fingers.
Guidelines at all. It's you're really using your ears, which is great for us. I mean,
it is.
I'm hearing like, oh no, I'm 5 cents sharp. I need to move out just a little bit.
Which is also way easier for us at this age because our ears are so developed.
Yeah, but I think something that started to like help it make sense was relating it to the valve series of playing like the trumpet.
Interesting. I haven't thought about it like that because
Really?
I don't play trumpet. But
yeah, but like if you think like, let's say we're playing like your G, G, F sharp, F, E, E flat, D, D flat, C.
Yeah.
It's like
if
you
about the trumpet getting longer, is that what you're talking
about? I mean it's all the exact same thing, and all of those notes that I just said they're all in the same partial.
Yeah.
And so the trombone is just a really exaggerated version of that. So like playing like concert F, the same G I just said, like you're just going through, this is all the same partial going all the way down, except this is just like a way more visual way to see the tubing increase. But like as we go up, like since the notes get closer together, like we use less and less of those fingerings, and it makes sense on here too. Like if we go up a few partials, like I'm only going to get to like fourth position before I come back to first. And relating it in that way makes like the physics of the instrument, like the way that it plays, like that makes sense to me. Versus before, I'm just like, man, that's a big slidey thing. How do you know where to go?
Yeah, I think I made a weird realization the other day. I think I told Owen this. I was like, we just finished string tech, which we're in a string class right now where we're learning.
I'm playing some fiddle.
Yeah. Shout out Dr. Duke. And I'm playing cello. And what's weird is learning both of these at the same time. I feel like I don't want to say I'm prioritizing the trombone more, but I am.
Okay.
I spend more time playing trombone with the string class.
I also think it requires it of you, like the nature of the instrument. Like,
I agree.
if you want to keep up in this class, you got to play it every day.
Yeah. Here, I'm thinking about notes changing in relation to I'm moving away from my body, and the notes are in pitch getting lower.
Yeah.
With cello, I'm also thinking about them going away from my body, but they're getting higher.
Oh, interesting. Because
Owen
since
was like,
I'm playing,
you're thinking about this?
Since I'm playing violin, it's the same for like it's the opposite of what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
because
the same
it
for
gets
both.
farther away the lower I get from my face.
Yeah.
But I guess as a cello, if it's down here, like
It's trippy.
yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't.
That's funny.
I was like, why am I struggling with the notes on cello so much?
Yeah.
Like, why can't I think about it? I'm like, oh, it's the opposite of the other thing I'm doing right now.
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of backwards.
Let's try and play a duet.
Cool.
They had us do Ode to Joy in class, where one of us is on the slur, B flat.
B flat
and
to F.
Did we start on the low one?
I don't remember.
As you can tell, we're not amazing at this thing.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we're required to do, it's not part of the brass class we're in, but it's part of another like instrumental teaching course taught by Dr. Duke, is every week we go to a middle school and we teach a 6th grade trombone student, which at first was like super intimidating. It kind of still is, but I feel a lot better about it. They told us we were doing this and they're like, oh, you're going to play trombone. And it's like, I've had my case for like 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 1 week. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
But it's super scary because they're going to be better at trombone than I am.
Yep.
But my teaching, I think, is at a certain level where I can definitely help them, or else there would be no point in going.
Yeah, I mean, your skill at moving, or at like learning these instruments moves pretty slow, but our ear at this point in our career should move really fast.
Yeah.
We should know what we're listening for, and we're learning way farther than our skill like currently playing the trombone. So when we go to these lessons, like we know what we're listening for, what we're looking for, like common pitfalls of trombone players. Which helps us teach an efficient lesson that's actually helping this person, even though skill-wise they can probably play better than us.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of was upfront about that. I'm not trying to like gatekeep being good at trombone.
For sure.
Or gatekeep being bad at trombone. When I, like, first lesson, I was like, hey, like, I am a pretty killer saxophone player, can't play trombone very well. And he was like, cool. I was like, yeah, I think I can help you grow, but I will do my best, and we're going to get better together was sort of the mindset that I've had with it. Yeah. And I think now, like, having another week on it, again, we're progressing at a crazy rate. I feel a lot better about it. Good. I might not say I'm as good as trombone at him yet. Yeah. That was the first thing I did in my video when I rewatched it, because we have to film the lessons, is I got the trombone out, and we talked for a little bit and did some buzzing, but once I got the trombone, I played an F, and I looked at him, I was like, how do I sound? Better than last week?
That's pretty
He was
funny.
like, yeah, I think so. I was like, cool.
That's nice.
Let's play a fun game.
Cool.
This is one thing I've been doing with my student. Stand up and face that way. And I'm gonna play, we face away from each other, and I'm gonna play a note, and then you're gonna try and match it.
All right, let's do it.
He actually got 2 out of 4 of them this week.
Wow.
I know. And then we'll go back and forth.
Cool.
There you go. Okay, what was it?
concert F.
Was it actually? No.
Oh, no,
it
you were in
wasn't.
second position.
I wasn't second. You
Okay.
played second though, right?
Yeah, I did.
Did
I
you
thought
lip
you
it
were in
down,
first. Huh?
Did you play first and lip it down?
No, I did play second.
You didn't?
I did.
Oh,
I did.
okay. Okay, now you do one. I think it's. Oh goodness. If I was trying to think back to Ode to Joy. Yeah. Right.
I'll play it again.
Dude, I am horrible at this. In my lessons, I'm going to do the opposite next week.
Yeah?
What note are you playing?
I'm playing fourth position G.
Oh. Okay. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed having Ben on the video. Let me know down below if you want him in more videos.
Everyone's gonna be like, get this dude off the channel.